It is Wednesday, October 8, 2014. Good evening, UPBOptionMillionaires.com. Dude, where's my downside? That's what the Bears are saying right now. They were, doing cartwheels, high-fiving each other yesterday after the bell. The noted Bear bloggers were just going ape nuts on the Bulls, which is, hey, you know what? That's why they got a blog. And it's just nice to see this reversal here intraday. Whether or not it holds long term, I really don't care. I'm happy now. Live in the moment. Tomorrow is another day. But those Bears were really arrogant. Doug Cass again writing a bearish article this morning, just like he did back on August 8th. I don't know if you remember that. Marked a low for the market, and we hit record highs afterwards, 3 weeks afterwards. Same thing here, saying, hey, we're in a bear market now. 4 days of downside will take you into a bear market. Okay, buddy. You keep shorting the market. It's funny, stock started to rally today when the Fed minutes came out, and open short here. Okay, averaged in. Oh, balls deep here. Ass full here. I don't know what else you could do. I guess it all depends on how much ink you have in your pen to write these pretend short positions on paper, because anybody who's been short this market the last 5.5 years and still around is lying to you, or just has a lot of ink in their pen. With a good eraser, though. It's got to be erasable ink, or you could just erase your trades on Twitter. Seen that before. So anyway, it's just nice to see this reversal. And when you see the Bears get really arrogant and cocky, this is what you get. It's the same thing. Hey, you know what? I was arrogant and cocky. Everybody was calling for a top in this market. Well, guess what? So far, we have topped. So I was getting arrogant and cocky, and even still, I have a tough time going short this market because we have the Federal Reserve, central banks globally printing money. We have bond yields at record low rates, negative interest rate environment. Where are you going to park your money? Where's people going to park their money? In the stock market, and you get rips like this to the upside. So that'll kind of sober up the Bears for a little bit. We don't have to hear them for a little while at least. Now let's see, how long is this rally going to last? I was talking about it this morning, and this is the one thing that would really concern me here going forward. Okay, I'm going to pull up a daily on S&P 500 futures. I was talking about this rally here that we had up to record levels. This is when Doug Cass was talking about sell the rip, and we had, 14 consecutive up days in the market, something like that. And now we are back here just at support. There's a beautiful double bottom here over the short term, and if we can go back, we made a higher low, which is good. Always good to have a higher low. And we have a nice rally. Now we need to get up over about almost the 2,000 level here to take this head and shoulders pattern. Because if we start moving up, we get up to 2,000, we start pulling back, we're going to hear the Bears talk about this left being a left shoulder, this being a head, and a right shoulder, head and shoulders pattern, which of course haven't worked out well. But at some point, we're going to get a head and shoulders pattern that's going to work, and the market's going to pull back. So that's something you want to watch for. What we want to see is a continuation of this run up at least into the record high levels that we hit last month, and then even higher would be great, and I think that's going to happen. But hey, you never know. We did see a nice pullback heading into today's session. Stocks look really weak, but guess what? One of the things that I'm looking for here is that Abenomics trend line. I've been talking about this for many videos that I do here at Option Millionaires. The market has respected, the S&P 500 ETF has respected this Abenomics trend line. I wrote a piece about it early this week. Honest Abe. Honest Abe has kept this market honest as far as this bull market's concerned. Guess what happened today? We started to pull back. We look really weak. If we didn't get today's rally, forget about it. This bull market, yeah, those Bears, they were cheerleading yesterday. My goodness, they're having, orgies right now with naked hookers, hopefully naked. But you can still have orgies with clothes. Forget it. Woo! They'll be having a good time. And you can see we've moved back over the Abenomics trend line. To me, that's huge. That is huge. I talked about it this morning. We've got to get above that level. Look where we closed. Right at that level. So to me, that's bullish. And in short term, look at this beautiful W bottom. And the W entails this. Look at this perfect double bottom. You could, if somebody sat down and scripted how the market would reverse today, you couldn't have. It's like the perfect ending for the Bears and beginning for another move up the record high stock price. What do I know? I'm just telling you what I see here. Something else I was talking about this morning was IWM. We were in the channel, pull back from a long-term perspective on IWM. Here it is. We got over support. Look at that. Beautiful. We're well over support here. IWM looks to have bottomed here at about the 106.50 level. If you look from the long-term perspective, look at this. Tell me this looks bearish. No, we have an upward move up into the middle of 2013. We've been consolidating. This is a beautiful consolidation pattern. Guess what happens next? higher to 120 to record levels. That's what it looks like to me. But hey, what do I know? What do I know? I'm just pointing out that IWM and SPY both look bullish here above support. Let's move on to some other tickers that I like. CLF had a nice reversal. The company is looking to sell some non-core assets, which is, the peel and some of the meaty parts on the outside of the apple, but not the core with all of the seeds and pits and stuff. We had a nice volume day here, and this is a weekly chart, 5-year weekly. Moving closer, I really love the candle action today on CLF. I think it's the start of a reversal. That's a hammer. Look, we're oversold here. We're starting to curl back up. That's a hammer. That's a nice hammer reversal candle. If you want to be buying something after a massive decline, it's seen over a 50% decline in the last month and a half, you want a hammer. That is perfect. Of course, we had a hammer here, and we continue to the downside, but we weren't as oversold as we are now. We're starting to curl up, so it looks kind of bullish here. For CLF, I'm going to buy some calls in that. WFM starting to move in spite of bearish analyst remarks here again. The 3750 level acting as support, and I'm still looking for the stock to go. Fortunately, it's been a little slow of a slog. Talked about VMW this morning. VMW's got to get back up to this line. I got into the 92 calls today. We closed at 93. It was a really strong day for VMW. I'm looking for this to move back over this trend line, former support, now resistance. I think it was The Economist talked today about BMW possibly being acquired by the soon-to-be split Hewlett-Packard. Let's look at some other stocks. Apple had a beautiful day. Carl Icahn. I mean, hey, at least when he writes a letter, it sticks. The next day the stock rallies 2%. And you can look just from the short term. Let's zoom in here. You can see we kind of were just fading a little bit, and now we're breaking out of this kind of the doldrums for Apple. And so we're going to look for higher prices. Apple analyst came out this morning, I believe, $120 price target. And this chart looks primed again for the next move. Look at this wedge. Just like we had the wedge in S&P 500 futures yesterday, and we had the big move out of that wedge, we have a similar wedge here shooting Apple up to new record prices. But again, what do I know? I don't know anything, do I? Let's look at some other stocks. DDD, which needs to get back up and over this long-term former support line, now going to act as resistance. You can see it here kind of just taking its time today. But again, a nice hammer reversal. New multi-year lows today made for DDD. Also, XONE could be looking at a reversal here. It looks like the stock, after being really oversold from the 50 level, it's down under 18. We'll see if we can get a move back up over 20 in the short term. Another 3D stock is SSYS. Had a beautiful day today. Nice candle. You pull a trend line across, bounced right off of support. We could be looking at a move back up to 135 for SSYS. Let's look at TLT. I talked about this today. I got out a half of the 119 puts. Once it hit 119.50, I was talking about it today. I brought it up on StockTwist. I brought it up in the video this morning. Look where we came. I talked about it this morning. We came up to 119.50 right after the open, and we pulled back. I got out a half my 119s that I got into right here. Right here, yeah, I posted it in the chat room. I have the real trade. It wasn't on paper, and yeah, so it was a real trade. Yeah, I make real trades. Yeah, and I wasn't averaging down or up or anything like that. I make a trade and I stick to it. Okay, I don't need to make the same failing trade 7 times to prove that I'm right. So we pull back $1 to the downside. To 118.50, I closed half of my options out there. I rode the rest of the day. We almost got back up to 119.50, but again, this has acted as a great line in the sand for the bulls for the last couple of years at the 119.50 level, and even when we got over it briefly in the middle of 2012, I like changing my voice right in the middle of the videos, we pulled back down below that level. So, it's going to be a tough nut to crack. If we do break this, I think we're going to break it for good, and we're going to get back up to that 125 level, then to new record highs on the TLT. VXX got monkey hammered today, just like every other, bullish action that we've seen on the inverse. So, for instance, TLT, it was trading, VXX. I was just talking about TLT. VXX was trading at session highs about an hour into the trading session, and then as the market recovered, it got clobbered, and you can see with the VIX. And here's S&P 500 futures, by the way. Let me just pull up the VIX for you. You can see what happened with the VIX. Look at that candle, a 12 8% down day for the volatility, the fear index. Oh, it was very fearful up here. And really, the intraday reversal is something to behold. We started off the day at about 16. We got up to 1803. Oh my gosh, the fear. And you can see we were making this. You can almost say this is a beautiful intraday head and shoulders pattern before we flushed down into the close. Still at 15. We were down near 10 earlier this year. So, you know, there's still a lot of fear in the market. Oh, let's look at a couple other charts. Then I'm going to call it a night. I'll do a video in the morning if you want to tune in. We'll see how futures are. Probably down 3 or 4% tomorrow. Who knows? We did Apple. Google came back to close the session at session highs. And you can see very similar action. I was talking about it in the chat room at optionmillionaires.com via audio, live audio, how the market was selling off and what we were looking at, really a lack of buyers. To me, that's what it looked like to me. I mean, you have nice time. There was heavy volume today, very heavy volume. It was like 175 million or something on this on the S&P 500 ETF, the spiders. But to me, it looked like people selling, just not enough bid support. And then it was like a switch. The switch got flipped on and the buy bots just went crazy. You can see the issue here with Google here in the short term is we're making lower highs just like we were in the S&P 500 futures until we reverse course. So Google's really got to head up back to the $600 range, or we could be looking at further weakness for Google. A stock I like for weakness, yeah, because we do trade stocks for downs. We're traders at heart. We trade this bull market with a bias towards the upside because we don't want to lose money shorting everything just because we think the Fed sucks and the economy sucks and Ben Bernanke sucks and Geithner sucks. Everybody sucks. Well, guess what? You hate this market all you want. Your whole goal in life trading this market is to make money, not to waste your money on a failed thesis. So Garmin, if there's a stock we're going to trade to the downside, look at Garmin. This is a beautiful stair-stepping pattern. I like to talk like an announcer. It moves up to the right, left, down, and I like this again. Another stair step to the downside. There was an actor out in the Midwest, I believe. I forget the guy's name. I try and sound like him every once in a while. So if you want to look at a stock trade for downside, be Garmin. And I think that's it. UPB here. How about CAT? Look at CAT. Now, we're going to show you another pattern here that looks a lot like the IWM. I talk like a southerner every once in a while. Let me see if I can get these drawn. I might have erased this. Get out of town. Where is it? Oh, you kidding me? It's gone. Anyway, you can see it. A similar channel to IWM. We hit our highs here, 112, 115. And you pull back here, also down at this level here. And Caterpillar has been challenged. A 5-year weekly chart for Caterpillar. Look at this. Look at a consolidation here. So we're seeing a similar move. So now you would look at Caterpillar, just pulling back. Bottom of the channel, Caterpillar is another one to play to the downside. Supports at 85, just like IWM. Beautiful chart. Where did my drawings go? There we go. IWM pulled back to support. Next target is 120, top of the channel. Simple as can be. S&P 500 ETF, the spiders. The Abenomics trend line is still alive, my friend. Why would you fight this? I would not fight this. Shorting here, shorting here, shorting here. Any normal person is broke shorting that much. Shorting here with this vigorous rally. Short, short, short. What is wrong with you? Anyone who does the same failed trading strategy over and over again shouldn't last in the market a year unless you're selling a Fake Money Pro subscription. UPB here, optionmillionaires.com. Everyone have a great evening. You won't see me cheerleading because we know this market could turn on a dime. But as long as we're making dimes, it's okay. UPB here. Everyone, I'll see you in the chat room tomorrow. Tune in at about 8 a.m. Eastern Time for my market video where hopefully we see futures continuing the boisterous attitude that we saw today. Goodbye.